Okay, what is your name and where are you from?
Hi, my name's Tim. I'm from Jersey City.
Oh,
I
Jersey
live
City?
there. Yeah.
What can you tell me about Jersey City?
Well, he'd know better than me about Jersey City, but
Yeah.
it's a great place to live. It's
Uh-huh.
close enough to Manhattan that you
Yeah.
can take the subway in,
Right.
but I can still keep my car and do work, in the suburbs and stuff. So it's like perfect for me.
Okay, now since we're here in New York,
Mhm.
are you able to do a New York accent?
I mean, like a stereotypical one, I guess,
Yes.
like a New York
The
accent.
New York one, exactly.
Yeah, take my dog to the coffee shop, get her some water.
That sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's get into some of the questions that you already know about. If you could
Okay.
time travel, what year would you go to?
I think I'd probably go to like 1965. To see the Beatles just really getting started.
Uh-huh.
Or 19. I mean, it depends on how long I'd be able to be there, because I'd like go to the beginning of the 60s to see the whole,
Yeah.
movement.
How about let's do like a week, like a typical vacation type thing.
I might go to Woodstock, 1969. Yeah.
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 Okay, cool. Okay, now if there's any part of your life that you would want to redo, what would it be?
That's a good question.
Any major turning points in your life that you wanted to?
I mean, most things really.
Most things you want to change?
Well, no, but one always thinks,
You
in
wish you
their
could have
mind
done
of,
something differently?
Well, one never knows, right? But
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess I would have practiced more in college.
Practice
I'm
more?
a musician. so,
Musician?
yeah, I would have practiced more.
Oh yeah, because that's something like that you want to start young, right?
Right.
You want to build like the foundation for yourself.
Well, that I would have started earlier too. I started playing at 9, which is
Uh-huh.
pretty late. But,
Okay.
that one wasn't really my call. Hello.
Okay, so you're a musician. What did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
What do you play?
I play the upright bass was my first instrument, but now I
Uh-huh.
play guitar, piano,
Uh-huh.
drums. I sing.
What kind of venues do you perform in?
Well,
did
I
you
mean,
perform?
it did. Yeah, that's really the.
Or will you perform in the future as well, right?
One never knows.
Yeah.
It depends. I played a lot around here because I went to NYU.
Uh-huh.
So I did I did the Skirble. I did
Yeah.
all these places
Uh-huh.
around here.
Right.
I've been out on tour and
Uh-huh.
on international and national tours.
Yeah.
So I played these theaters in Shanghai.
Oh, wow.
And the Marina Bay Sands.
Uh-huh.
Those are huge. And then I
Uh-huh.
play like regional, children's theater, like 10-seat theaters. So it's a wide variety.
Yeah.
Wherever the money is.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who want to get started being a musician?
Yeah, I guess my advice would be to diversify your don't stick to just one genre. Play as much as you can, as often as you can, with as many people as you can, and as many different things as you can, because that's how you're gonna get work. You never know. I thought I was gonna be like a composer and write music, and now I've turned it into a living in musical theater. So you never know where it's gonna come from.
You want to face the other way because I think the sun's coming from behind
Sure.
you, so it's
Yeah.
better lighting that way.
Yeah.
this way.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
this is
Come
good.
on.
Is this good?
This is good.
Okay, is this good? Okay,
We'll get him
now,
in later.
yeah. You said you went to NYU.
I did.
What do you think about the NYU bubble and how a lot of the students they don't really like branching out into the city and meeting people like real New Yorkers? What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
I mean, I fell victim to it myself. It's a pretty, honestly, I felt pretty isolated here.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to, leave that little kind of
Comfort zone.
comfort
almost
zone.
like-
Yeah. It's, I often wonder, I guess that would be another one of my regrets. Not that I regret
Yeah.
going to NYU, but like I wonder what life would have been like if I'd been to a place with a campus.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have felt a little more connected to my school and the people there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bummer, I'll tell you
Uh-huh.
that. The
Yeah.
NYU bubble's a bummer, and I wish
Uh-huh.
it didn't play out that way. But
Do you have any advice for NYU students who are going there right now? Because I get a lot of these guys coming on here.
really,
Yeah, who are currently in NYU.
I don't know. Just I don't know. If
No
I had done
advice?
NYU properly, then I
Uh-huh.
would have good advice. But
I had somebody tell me who's currently a senior. He said, "Don't go to NYU at all."
I mean, that's kind of would be my advice. But if they're currently students, that's not really a helpful thing for them to hear. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, yeah, I would just, if you're looking into going to NYU, I would say, like, just be aware that it's hard, and it's a pretty lonely place. I
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
found, you know. My boyfriend's looking into NYU law school, so I feel bad saying all this in front of him now, but
Right. You don't want to discourage him. Right?
sorry.
I mean, who's to say the grad school experiences or isn't the same?
Well, yeah, but you'll be living in Jersey City as well, and you know,
True.
you'll
And he's kind
I'll
of
be there.
established too, right? Here
Right,
in
yeah.
in town already.
Exactly. Yeah, he's
Right.
got,
Whereas
he's
he's it's not like his first time away from home like some of the others.
right. Yeah, like for me, when I was just let
Yeah.
off the leash, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you know. So yeah, I don't know what to tell NYU students. Just good luck, I guess.
Okay, so how are you adapting to the pandemic being a musician? Because there's a lot of big changes to that industry right now.
Yeah. It's a great question. I did at the beginning of lockdown. My roommate and I hosted a series of virtual concerts over Zoom.
Yeah.
Because he's a musician as well, and we would just do we would do these shows and hold fundraisers for. At first, it was a local food bank.
Yes.
The Giving Place or the Sharing Place.
Right.
I can't remember which. And then after the summer, it was for the ACLU. So I mean, that's a way that we were able to keep active.
Yeah.
In terms of concerts, obviously, there's really none. I've done some wedding band stuff. That's kind of a bummer though, because you know, I mean, the people who are paying live bands and hosting parties are not exactly the people that you'd want to be around during a pandemic. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
like they're
yeah.
not the safest bunch.
That's true.
But
that's true.
I stay. You know, if I'm up on the stage, I stay back. And,
Uh-huh.
I'm writing an album, a children's music album with a friend of mine. So like, you know, there's ways to kind of
Yeah.
make it work. And I have a day job, so I'm lucky. But for most of my friends,
Yeah. Do you
it's
have
just
like a Spotify, or how do you how do you
don't.
expose your music to the world?
well, you know, that's the thing is I you know, for the most part, I just perform live. You know, I don't really think of myself. I studied composition, but you know, classical music isn't really. It's not really a market for that as much as I love it. So I
so
mean,
you're
yeah.
not a high profile.
Oh God, no.
Kind of a
No. I mean, I've
musician.
played a lot of places, but nobody knows who I am, or nobody cares. But you know, I think with this children's music stuff, we're gonna put something on iTunes or something and try and get a name for ourselves, just because, you know.
Do you have a name for your band or your
Yeah, we're called Jammin' Juniors.
Jammin' Junior? How long
Jammin'
you all
Juniors.
been around for?
Well, we're actually just starting it, so I want to make like a Mommy and Me style music class, Jammin' Juniors, and we just inherited a nonprofit called Hop Skip Jump, which just really fell into our laps for.
Right.
It's a program that pairs autistic children with neurotypical children, so they can kind of mirror behavior, and it's a music
Right.
class that. So we're writing songs about like let's take turns, and so it's all pretty new for us.
Yeah.
As a result of the pandemic, we're trying to, you know, branch out, and then
very-
once the pandemic's over, we can actually host these classes and
Yeah.
build up a following. You know.
So yeah, you talked a little bit about where you're going. So where do you see yourself going with the music in a few years now?
Oh gosh, I mean that's kind of the thing. Like I have for, kind of ties into my advice for musicians is that like I don't really know where I'm going. I'm just putting my feelers out in every direction, you know, because you don't know where the next job is going to come from, and you don't know where the next where your career lies. You know, if you'd asked me 5 years or 10 years ago, I would have said, oh, classical music, and
Yeah.
you know. Now it's like, oh, children's rock music. If it was 3 years ago, I would have said Broadway, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
In 5 years, I foresee that I'll still be playing music. That's all I can, that's the only promise I can make.
You don't see yourself winning any awards or anything like that?
No, I didn't practice enough in college. I didn't pay enough attention, no.
So you're not one of those guys who overestimates himself?
no.
I've had people say I'm gonna sell like 1 million records and stuff and all that.
I'll be happy if I sell 100 records. I don't. It's not about that, honestly, for me. Like whether if nobody's watching, I don't really care as long as I'm playing with my friends. Like it's nice to get paid for it, but the reality of the situation is I'd be doing all this stuff for free anyway, and I have been during pandemics. It's nice to get paid for it, but I don't care if anybody listens. I mean, I do, but
that's not your primary.
it's not the goal here. Yeah.
Okay, so if you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Gosh, you asked me this before, and I still haven't really come up with anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We can come back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, now today is Valentine's Day. What do you got going? What do you got going on?
I'm walking in Washington Square Park with my boyfriend right now. My boyfriend is too shy to appear on camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna walk around, maybe get some munchies, and then I don't know, go back, watch a romantic comedy. We watched Roman Holiday last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Are you normally big on Valentine's Day or no?
No, God, no. Absolutely not. I don't even like romantic comedies. I'm an old school. It's not old school. I'm like the Grinch, but for romance. I don't. I'm
Yeah, I think a lot of
about
people
it.
are.
Yeah.
It's just like a holiday that's created by sort of people who
Right.
have maybe like a secondary motive.
Yeah, it's a corporate holiday to sell chocolate and flowers and and diamonds, God forbid. You're never getting a diamond.
And I'm all right. I'm at peace with that.
Yeah, you better be. It's not
So
happening.
you're in agreement. No arguments there about that.
Yeah.
No argument.
No diamonds.
That's good. That's good. All right, now, what kind of places have you traveled to in the past?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, for work or
For anything.
screwing around. I mean, I've been all over Europe, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, England, Ireland. I'm Irish. I have family over there.
Oh, I think you're like the 4th or 5th person.
Everybody's
That's all
Irish
on here, yeah.
nowadays. But I have family over there, and I speak a little Irish.
Yeah.
So.
I had one guy who said he went to Ireland for the pandemic, or in the beginning of the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
He has like a country house over there, so.
I'm gonna have to watch that video.
Yeah, he thought it was like a good idea to, because nobody wants to be in like a heavily populated city during the pandemic.
Yeah, Jersey City during the pandemic was not fun.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it was not. I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but like it was claustrophobic. With just me and my roommate. It was. It got tight.
Okay, so where do you want to travel to in the future?
I mean, if you'd asked me like 6 months ago, I would have said, well, I'm going to Vietnam in about a week.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I am. Yeah.
No quarantine over there?
There is, so I'm going to quarantine for 2 weeks. But they've actually dealt with the virus very well. They don't really have any cases.
But those are the people who do the most strictest quarantine.
Exactly. Because they have like a totalitarian government over there, they can shut it down.
You can't leave the hotel or anything like that.
Yeah,
So you're ready for that.
Yeah. And I when I in my dreams I had hoped to go to Thailand and volunteer at an elephant sanctuary for a couple weeks after, but with pandemic, obviously,
Right.
it's for work I'm going. It's not just for.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna be there for a while then?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for about 3 months.
Oh, 3 months?
Yeah, we're putting a show together over there. So.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because they can have concerts, right? Because they don't have too many.
This is actually for a theme park over there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's a nighttime spectacular that we're putting to. That's my day job. Is I work for a company that we design rides and shows for theme parks.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it's a nice day job.
Okay, so what can we expect to see in like those theme parks in the future? You got any like secret insider information for us?
Oh Lord, do I have insider information? But I've signed many non-disclosure agreements. I don't know. I mean, the show is going to be it's going to be exciting, no
Really?
matter what. It's
Okay.
going to be,
It's gonna be different from the American shows.
yeah. Well, the regulations over there are a lot different than they are over here. Is what I'll say about that. I mean, we've got 50-foot flame effects, and those are the tallest flame effects in Southeast Asia by 40 feet. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a huge show.
Are you gonna post any of that?
I won't, but my company probably will advertise it.
Yeah.
Depending on how all of it gets installed. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about what you did during the lockdown.
Yeah.
What did you do during the lockdown? I mean, a lot of people, they made use of that time. They either worked out or they did DIY. They fixed their house. How did you spend that time?
You know, I wish I could say I did something good like any of that. I did. I played a lot of music with my roommate, and we wrote some songs together, which
Yeah.
was, it's always nice to do that. Up until this year, I hadn't been writing too much, but I've gotten back into it. And then, working from home on the theme park stuff as much as we can. Theme parks
Yeah.
are all shut down.
Right.
I wish I could say I learned a language or made excellent use of my time, but I really I watched a lot of Netflix and I learned how to cook slightly more. And my boyfriend's gonna laugh because I can't cook at all, but
Yeah.
I learned slightly more how to cook.
Oh yeah, because you can't really eat out that much anymore.
Right, which was
That changed a lot of people.
Yeah. Before that, I was Uber Eats every day.
Yeah.
And
Now, speaking of changes, have you had any game changes in your life? Anything happened in your life to make you want to change the way you live your life?
anything make me want to change the way I live my life?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I think I'm trying to think of like a formative, like a turning point.
Yeah.
I guess I was playing in the New Jersey State Orchestra when I was in like 8th grade or something. It was this kids state orchestra or whatever. And we were playing NJ-PAC and we were playing Lord of the Rings, which
Right.
I've loved the Lord of the Rings movies. We were playing a selection from Lord of the Rings, and I
Yes.
remember thinking in that moment, I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off yet.
So that
But, like,
movie changed you.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings is
Yeah.
well, my boyfriend is very patient about listening to me talk about Lord of the Rings. But it's a huge. I'm a nut. The Silmarillion, the Hobbit. I could go toe to toe with Colbert. I bet. I'm a big fan. So I guess Lord of the Rings is one of the things that's been formative for me. Yeah.
Okay, now, if you were doing interviews like this, what kind of questions would you want to ask the folks out there?
What kind of questions would I want to ask folks?
Is there anything like that you're particularly curious about when it comes to like you walking around and you see all these people? What are you wondering about them and their backgrounds?
That's a great question. I guess I would just just want to hear them talk. I guess like I would just want to listen. I feel like everybody's
Just
blood
have them
pressure is-
freestyle.
Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah. I want everybody to feel heard. Like the blood pressure's pretty high in the country right now. Everybody's upset and in a lot of ways rightfully so, but like we all just like listen to one another and like, it's like everybody just calm down a little bit,
Yeah.
Maybe people wouldn't be so angry. Maybe they would. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would just want to listen to folks, I feel like a lot of people are angry because they don't feel heard.
Right. Yeah, I've had several people come on here for those reasons specifically. Okay, now, what was I gonna say?
3 wishes? Are we at that
Yeah.
point
You want
yet?
to go back to that?
Oh, we can.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I would love to play on Broadway one day. Not so much because like I want to be famous or anything, but just
Like in
because
the orchestra?
Yeah. No, I don't want to be on stage.
No dancing and hanging from.
Oh God!
strings
I've
and
been
stuff?
on stage a couple times. The only like big role I've had that required dancing was the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
But then you just kind of like it didn't require that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean I love being on stage, but there's. That would be 2 wishes to get me to perform on stage on Broadway. That would take up too much bandwidth. No, I'd like to perform just in the pit. And I don't care if anybody knows. I just, to fulfill that lifelong dream for me would be incredible.
Just being there, right?
Yeah, just to be there would be incredible.
Yeah.
The other 2 wishes, I don't know.
To feel the excitement every night, right?
Yeah. I guess I'd wish for my dad to get his knees are in terrible shape. He's in a lot of pain. And I'd love to go like hiking with him, and I want to take him to Cambodia and
Right.
go to, because I know he'd love Phnom Penh, but he can't.
Yeah.
And Angkor Wat, but he can't do that kind of stuff anymore. And I'd love,
Yeah.
if there was a way I could magic his knee pain away and get him raring to go exploring, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I wish I could take David to Vietnam with me. That'd be
Oh,
nice.
he's not going?
He's
oh,
not
he's doing the
going.
law school, right?
Yeah, well, he's applying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, it's a work trip, so I
Uh-huh.
can't take him with me.
How do y'all plan on keeping that relationship fresh while you're separated?
You know, we're gonna talk
Do
consistently.
a lot of video
and-
conferencing.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, it's a 12-hour difference, so
Yeah.
I'll probably be doing a lot of mornings on the phone with him, and he'll be doing a lot of evenings.
Yeah.
But you know, there's worse. There's worse relationships, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's only 3 months. It'll go by quick.
Yeah, it's the hope.
Right. Okay, so do you consider yourself to be a content creator? Are you a content creator?
I mean,
don't post
I guess.
anything?
No, I don't. I don't like all that social media stuff. I
Uh-huh.
don't. Well, it just makes me feel sad every time I go on Facebook. I just, you know,
Why?
people are very angry.
Oh, the political stuff you
Well,
mean?
that too, but also like they just post like things of their life that like, look at this, that I have a baby and everything's perfect and I've never
Oh,
felt
yeah,
sad in my
yeah,
life.
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like, I don't, you know.
It kind of makes you feel like you're missing out on
Right,
something,
and just like I feel bad enough like most of the time. I don't need to.
Yeah, it's the same with Instagram when they're posting pictures of themselves in very good shape. And,
Right. I
in the
don't even
sunshine.
I don't have an Instagram or a Twitter. I have a Facebook, but I don't ever use it. I just use it to
Yeah.
because sometimes people message me for jobs and say like, hey, I heard you play bass. I need, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I keep it for that reason. But honestly, if it wasn't for that, I'd delete it. I don't.
How are we doing on time here?
Yeah, I know. You've been very patient.
You're fine.
You want to start wrapping this up?
Yeah, I mean that's that.
Okay. All right. Do you want to plug in your social media?
I don't have any, but I'm Tim O'Hara.
Yeah. You want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Well, Jammin' Juniors. I mean, we're gonna get that up and going. So
Jammin'
if you
Junior-
want,
Are you going to be up on YouTube? Where are you going to be? Spotify?
I don't know. I think we're probably gonna make
Oh,
a
you said
Facebook
iTunes,
page, maybe iTunes. I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll look out
You
for
know, I'm the music creator. We have a band manager for all that other stuff. So you'd have to ask her. But we're gonna make a website and jamminjuniors.com. I don't know. That might be taken. But
that. Okay. Any final words?
yeah. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you for being
watching.
on here. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
a
my
very
pleasure.
interesting time here listening to your stories. Do I have your permission to put this on the internet?
Absolutely.
Thanks. You want to do a picture for Instagram?